Welcome back. You might have just seen me 10 seconds ago, but this is my 2018 Miata. It's got 12,000 miles, and it's got a hell of a lot of front end damage. So today we're gonna be ripping off this front end, fenders, hood, bumper, anything that falls out along the way, and just tearing back everything that's damaged and see how deep it goes, which, spoiler alert, from just the way our door that's fine lines up while closed. Yeah, it's gonna go pretty far back. That was a fair bit of work. I did use metal shears that aren't properly adjusted and hacked my way and bent it back and forth to get the fender off. Didn't need to do that. Sometimes I just get sidetracked and feel like having a bit of fun. All right, let's take a closer look at some damage we got here. Well, one, we can see our battery, and I did disconnect it on both ends, and this is where I believe there's a fuse that blew. Since the driver airbag did go off, you can kind of see it in there. This battery might have just leaked everywhere. I didn't really notice that from underneath. You can see our radiator. That's our air box. I can assume that there's just a billion things in the way of any belts moving down there right now. Our fuse box, which has some cracked relays, which is why I disconnected the battery as soon as I saw that. And then also down here, this is a crash sensor. As soon as I saw that, I was like, well, yeah, I should go after the battery. It's something you should always do. I kind of just forgot this time. I have that fender unbolted everywhere, but from the door and underneath the side skirts, there'll be bolts. So I didn't want to pull that off just yet, but I did get everything else off of it. I got the little structural plastic here off, except for some pieces that are stuck in there. I've reoriented the tie rod to be how it would have gone in there. The tie rod and everything looks fine. It just cracked the knuckle, which is like the opposite of what I would expect normally. Here is part of our headlight. I think this is fog. I'm not sure. There's also more headlight jammed up against the wheel in there. So I have to get all of that out. We can see our frame rail, which, all right, this would be straight with the car, just about. And that's not straight with the, I think our engine position looks good. Yeah, I don't think that's moved in any significant way. I can't say this is worse than expected. I think it is just as expected. It's a little unfortunate that things like the fuse box and battery are right in the front. I think the next thing I'll do is grab my slide hammer and yank on this, then trying to disconnect all the hanging fog headlight assembly stuff. Alright, it's late outside, the sun's about to go down. I'm gonna give the neighborhood some peace and clean up outside, close the garage door. Alright, the first part of our intake is cracked. So is the part with the mass airflow sensor. So we've got that disconnected back up to the hose. We can see the throttle body inside. Our battery definitely did leak. So it was eating away at the paint. These drips here are not just dirt like the rest. So I want to be able to get that out as soon as possible. Better side of the car. We can clearly see our hard kink in our frame rail now. This one is still obscured. I've been disconnecting the wiring all along and getting everything I can. Got the hood latch there. And still gotta pull this out. Trying to get all the wiring away from the metal and all the plastic away too, because all the plastic's junk now. All the wiring hopefully can be saved. And I'll need to manipulate the metal a little bit before cutting it off. Only one spot weld holding this in. On the corner at least. Everything else holding on the front and then that side. So tomorrow I will probably be cutting this top support section off to get a better look at everything. Alright, so we've got a good mess going, and I've cut out some of the radiator front support. We've gotten 3 bolts out of this crash bar, but the last one is down there. And I've gotten 2 off of this side, but that one's gonna be pretty much impossible. Could probably get a crescent on it. The other one is obstructed. There's still plastic here that's wedged in there. These lower pieces here on the other side in the first video, I had mentioned it was metal and rubber and it was all twisted up. It turns out those are just some additional crash pieces that are supposed to sit straight. The real unfortunate thing about that is those are part of the subframe. So they bolt to the crash bar through these plates, but as you can see on this side, they run straight back and they weld into the subframe right there. So our subframe is trash. A little stuck, but I don't know if my next step is to just cut. I think it might be. Okay, so I've been cutting through, but realized the reason sometimes you need a Sawzall, and I don't own one, is because the angle grinder can't reach everywhere, and that's a lot of material all the way around. Okay, our crash bar is off. I don't know that it was necessary for me to cut it all. I think that didn't help me do anything. It was just once I decided to use crescent on that bolt, and I got the plastic out, which got me to the bottom bolt there. And then just crescent, knock the crash bar back to give the bolt more space to back out. That all led to this side being pulled off. I was able to use it, gain leverage, bent that rail back a little bit, but mostly what it did was allowed me to get enough space to get at the last bolt from the bottom. Pulled off the coolant tank, so now we can see our fan. We can see a big dent. So yeah, our battery's really messed up, and we've still got a ways to go before we can get it out. From here we can see that our belt skipped off. Just want to mention, this is what I've been using as a tripod. Just crossing these zip ties, sliding my phone through the middle there. So yeah, gotta get a phone tripod so that I can keep going with the 4K. Now that we have everything cut away, we can see the inside of our radiator. I knew it was going to be broken. I was just waiting to see where that was going to be. It's definitely pretty dry because that's the only thing that's come out so far. There might be a little bit left in the drain. I think with that front sport cut, I have enough room to unbolt the battery, lift it out. Now that hopefully shouldn't be pinned anymore. I think that's gonna be all for this video. Hopefully by cutting it here, it'll give us time to get our knuckle in so that I won't only be pulling things out, but I'll be putting a new part on. Probably not for the last time. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one soon. Bye.